are back with the Tia Bee Show. You guys, another episode, and I am so excited. I am in my beautiful friend Maddie's home. This is her beautiful home that she has let us come to be able to interview her today. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you guys like the episodes, what we're feeling, and all the good things, you guys. We love to hear your comments and everything in the chat. So today we have Maddie on the show. We're so excited. I'm so excited. Maddie's freaking awesome, you guys. She's actually one of my first friends moving to Utah County. I've known Maddie since I've moved here. We met at an event.
Yes.
At the food table.
Yeah.
That's how we knew we were connected, was at the food table. And Maddie has been there for me through everything. One of my awesome, amazing friends that stood by my window and sang me songs and danced with me, and brought me, seriously, she brought me affirmations for my room. She brought me all kinds of things for my room to cheer me up when I was diagnosed, and honestly, it's just like a gift to my life. So I wanted to share her with you guys today. So I'm so excited to have Maddie here.
Woohoo! I'm
Maddie,
excited to be here.
Introduce yourself to our audience.
All right, I am Maddie Clark. I have two beautiful kids and a beautiful husband too. He's so beautiful. And my day-to-day life just involves being a mom and running around with my kids, getting my exercise and doing that. I love being outside and just being a mom. It's just like, I feel like it's just a blessing to my life and something that I love so much. And so I feel like that's kind of just like what I do every day, and I love it so much.
Yes. Maddie, if you don't follow her on Instagram, you need to, because she's always, she does like the funniest reels on motherhood, and I just think it's awesome because we can relate to that, and it just gives you a smile and a good laugh throughout your day. So,
I love you.
Thank you.
Motherhood.
And she's releasing, can I tell them?
What?
About your hats.
Oh yeah, tell them.
Yeah, look at her beautiful hat. She has designed, she has a hat company that she is going to be launching soon, so stay tuned for that, because she is amazing and so talented. So
you're so nice. It's a lot of work, and it's finally here, and I'm so excited.
Yes, it is a lot of work, but you're amazing, and you can do it.
I love you.
So this show is all about
Yeah, I catch people with this animal all the time.
Okay, so you guys know our show is all about life opportunities and how we grow and how we learn from them and how we come out the other end and be able to continue our experience of growing and learning through this thing called life. So I just want you, Maddie, just to share your life opportunities, something in your life that you've had to go through that's been pretty tough. Yeah. Something that is your story to your heart and that we can be able to grow and learn from.
Yeah, I think that instantly when I hear that question, I know exactly like what has changed my life in the most significant, big way, and it was my daughter being diagnosed with Down syndrome. That was something that we obviously weren't expecting or knew that was going to be a part of our lives, and we went through our whole entire pregnancy without knowing that our daughter had Down syndrome. Most of the time they catch that they have like markers or signs of Down syndrome, and we didn't see any of that in our ultrasounds, and they, even at our 20-week ultrasound, they measured everything, looked at her heart and everything about her, and they said she was perfect, and she is perfect. She is perfect and so cute, and
she really is.
That's just something that has like really, really changed our lives in the best way. And I think that people, when they talk to us, they'll say like they feel sorry, or they feel like, oh, that has to be so hard. And actually, my 2-year-old little boy is harder than my little girl. He kicks my freaking butt. I'm like, man, now being her person, she's just like an angel child. And I'm like, man, actually, no, it's my little boy. He's kicking my
Like,
butt.
no, it's Beckham.
Yeah, Beckham is kicking my butt. And yeah, so I think just that diagnosis has changed our lives for the best, in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And it's just been like a huge blessing, and we've just learned how to like love people and see people past, you know, past just like who they are. And
Yeah.
we get to know people deeper, and it's just like created a zest for life in the
Yeah.
best way, I think. So
I love that. I love that. I think you sharing about, because she also shares a lot about Down syndrome on her page, and you know, just like the ups of it. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you share a lot of like the positives and the blessings that it is to your life, and
Yeah.
and I think people need to see that. Like people need to see more of that. And let it be like known that it's positive, like it's positive and it's such a blessing.
yeah.
So what is one thing, getting that diagnosis, I know that was like shocking at first, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And what has been like the hardest thing, I think, for you throughout this, you know, throughout this experience all together as a family?
Yeah, I think it was like pretty like, wow, this is like so amazing. And
Yeah.
like when we initially got her diagnosis and we were at the hospital, we cried like for 2 days straight. Like
Yeah.
we just cried, and it was a lot of like how the diagnosis was delivered to us. And you know, the doctor and the pediatrician who came in, we asked them like if it was something that we did. I was, I think, 19 when I had London, so I was really young.
You were young.
I was a
Yeah, baby.
I was a baby, and so like I had no idea like what, if there was something we did to cause it. And I don't even think it's like an age thing either. Like
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think it's just like me being young. I think it's just like we just don't know those things.
Yeah.
Like we don't
Yes.
know those things unless we're kind of in those shoes and experience it ourselves. And that's also why I like have my page, is because if someone does have a child that's diagnosed with Down syndrome, I want them to feel like, oh well, I've had all this knowledge given to me, and I've seen the Clarks live with Lundy, and they just look so happy, and
Yeah.
like they're living their best life. So, but yeah, we cried for 2 days straight, just because the pediatrician said it was just bad luck. When we asked if there was something like we did, they just said it was just bad luck.
Bad luck.
It's the best. We had the
I know,
jackpot.
seriously.
Like, Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, it was just the best thing ever for us. And after those 2 days, I can say that we have not shed a tear about her diagnosis. I think just recently what has been hard is we actually just moved, and a huge reason for why we moved is because I watched kids in our neighborhood play that were Lundy's age, and her not being invited or understood. And I think that that's kind of been the hardest thing
yeah.
as parents, is like other kids are so little,
Yeah.
and they don't understand why Lundy's not talking,
Yes.
and why she expresses things differently, or she just sometimes likes to play on her own.
Yeah.
Like she just, you know what I mean? And so that has been hard as parents to navigate, just like like
I would, yes.
it's hard. And I think it can happen to any parent, whether your child has special needs or not.
Oh, totally.
Like
Yes.
just them being kind of left out, or
Yeah.
not accepted, or not included in a group, and that's
Yeah.
just like heartbreaking as a parent. But I feel like that has literally been the hardest thing for us as parents, and I think that's like for both me and my husband. I think for me, I am like hypochondriac, and so when I had kids, it went to my kids, and so now I just stress about my kids' health so much. And kids with Down syndrome, they do tend to have some extra health needs, and so I just work really, really hard to have faith and choose faith instead of fear through that, so that I can live happily with London instead of worrying about, well, what if, or what if, and what if. So
Yeah.
I think for me, that's something that's really hard, but I know for both of us, just not like her not being included. But I think also having those conversations with parents and
Yeah.
kids, and just being like, it's totally fine if you tell them that
Yeah.
she has Down syndrome, and that because she has Down syndrome, she's special, and sometimes
Yes.
she communicates differently,
Yeah.
and like she's just like an angel here
Yeah.
on this earth, and Heavenly Father sent her differently. And I think just having those conversations with your kids are really important, so that they can understand, because I feel like if they're just put into a situation and they don't understand, sometimes that can turn into like aggression, or I'm just gonna leave that person out because I just don't understand, and that's a lot for a kid to handle. So I think by having those conversations, we can kind of hopefully navigate that a little bit better. But
I love that. It was so cute. I have to tell you that Maze today on the way to school, I asked him, I said, so did you make any new friends at school? Or I always challenge my kids to like, make new friends. If you make a new friend today, I'll give you 10 points. You know, we have a point system at our house. And so Maze today goes, yeah, Mom, I have a new friend. And I was like, you do? And he's like, yeah, he's kind of like, you know, your friend who has the daughter,
I love him.
London. And I was like, oh, Lundy. And he's like, yeah, he's like her. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, it was just so cute that he was like, because he was so excited to tell me about his new friend, you know.
Yeah.
I do have a new friend, Mom. I met a new friend. And I was like, you do? And you know what I mean? Like, you just made it sound, and I love the way, like, I get goosebumps talking about it because he just made it sound like, just so normal. Like,
it was the best thing.
It was just like, you know what I mean? Not like, I don't know. It was just, it made my mom heart happy that he was like,
it's my friend.
yeah,
like it's, there's nothing else to it. I just made a friend that's like Lundy.
Yeah. And he referred him to like Lundy. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's just like him, and he's awesome, and he's so fun and so nice. And I was like, that is awesome.
And Maze is the best. I just love Maze so much.
You do love Maze.
He's so cute. Anytime I see anything, I'm like, oh my gosh, Maze. Like, he's just the cutest, and he has the like sweetest little heart, and he just is the best,
really does.
best of the best jokes.
I know. His own little jokes.
They're the best.
What would you say? I love that you shared, like, I love that you're sharing with them that, you know, I feel like the hardest thing is, you know, just watching your child grow up and watching other kids act and how they are. So what would be something for parents or people that are watching at home that can, you know, help in that way, that they don't, you know, they might not have a special needs child, or, you know, what can we do? What can I do to be better with my kids or as a mom?
Yeah, I think just having those conversations about kids who are, I think we're all different, so I don't necessarily love using the term of like, that kid's different, because we all are different, we are not all the same. And so I think just saying like, there's kids who have special needs, and they just like, they need help with this, or sometimes they don't talk as well, or sometimes they may get angry a little easier, or they may hit, or they may express their emotions differently because they just are working on understanding themselves, and sometimes it takes them a little bit longer. I think when you're sending your kids to school, just having that conversation of like, there's really special kids that can be in your class, and they're so awesome and so nice, and some of them don't talk, or some of them may be in wheelchairs, or some of them may just react differently to situations, and just having those conversations so that they're prepared and aware to meet those kids, but also have a loving heart towards them. And so teaching them that even though those kids have special needs and they're different, they're so loved and they're so special, and like, we want to be friends with them, and we want to play with them, and we want to be patient with them as they try to express their needs, or even if they hit us sometimes, they don't mean to, and they're still like kind and loving. I think just having those conversations before your kids go back to school is really important, so that they're prepared. And there's like books, you know, and you could go on, I know you guys are on social media, most of you. You're scrolling, you're scrolling on social media, and so just pulling up accounts that have kids who do have special needs, whether it's spina bifida, autism, you know, Down syndrome, or any kind of special needs, just pulling up an account and showing them like, look how cute this kid is, and look at like them trying to walk, or look at them learning sign language and learning how to talk. And I think just like showing them so that they're prepared for that is really helpful.
I think that's really smart what you said, like, especially because this episode's going to go out. A lot of you haven't started school yet, and so I think this is like the perfect time to have those conversations with your kids, like now. Going back to, like, make it a part of, I would say even make it a part of your back to school, like, traditions, you know, and because it is such a huge part in, just in the world, in being a human. Like, not even as kids, but something that they can learn at home. And being, I feel like just being, a lot of people aren't, they're not used to being around people with special needs.
No.
but making them used to it. Like, like Maddie said, showing them, you know, profiles or pictures or books or things like that, and letting it become normal. So when they do go back to school or they do go to work or wherever they're going to next, that they do know how to communicate and show that compassion and love and understanding to those with special needs.
And I feel like in my life, I have kind of always been, like, Heavenly Father has prepared me for Lundy in so many different ways, and to love people who have special needs. And so, what is it, You Are Enough? Is that what the book's called? Have you read that? Where they have the stickers.
You Are Special.
You Are Special.
That's my favorite book.
It's so
I keep telling them about that. I need to read that book.
It's such a good book.
It's
I'm like,
such a good book.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And just being able to read that book and say, like, oh, look how sad he was that he wasn't accepted and he wasn't, you know, and bringing a lot of emotion into it. But they have so many good books, and even books specifically about kids with Down syndrome, or, you know, just like explaining those things. And I think it's just like powerful in so many ways to just like understand, like, also explaining, like, there's not a normal, because we all just are different, and we all have different things to us. And I mean, I don't walk around my like house or my life with a little bubble of my head that says I have anxiety, you know. And so I think also
I'm crazy.
Yeah, I'm crazy. But no, I just think that, like, kids with Down syndrome too, like, they're like, Lundy's London, and she's so special before she is Down syndrome. And I hope that she can always introduce herself as London before she feels like she needs to say I have Down syndrome, because that is a part of who she is, but it's not all of who she is, and she has so much to offer. And, you know, I just love that she does have Down syndrome, but I love that I can also teach that's not who she is. You know, like, there's so much to her.
So much more to her.
Yeah, she's just so
And
special.
I think that's what I love about you as a mother, like with Lundy, is that you do, like, you just raise her like you just, like, you know, you see different ways of, you know, it done, and I just love the way you just raise her, and you just treat her like
she's just just like Beckham. Like, she's just like Beckham. Her and Beckham get treated equal. They have the same things, and I feel like also on social media I've kind of like took a step back from like sharing as much Down syndrome content, because I want people to see that our life is not revolved around Down syndrome. Like, we literally just go our day-to-day lives and just live that way without just, oh yeah, Lundy has Down syndrome. You know, like, we incorporate sign language into our home, and, you know, there's a couple things like where we have to slow down and explain things a little slower to her. But I feel like for us, I just want people to see, like, we go out to dinners, we go on vacations, we go out on play dates, you know, like,
it doesn't stop you from living life like it should.
We just do everything the same way that your family does. Sometimes we just have different things, but there's things that your family may do that we don't do as a family. And so I think it's just like, we just live our best lives with Lundy, and she's the best.
I love that. Well, it is time for a dance break. Say, oh, yeah. Say, oh, yeah. Yes. I love it. Maddie, seriously, something you need to know about Maddie, she's just like always down to have a good time. She's the most down to earth, just fun. She's one of those friends that you like don't have, like, you can call her whenever, you can not talk to her forever, and then she still loves you.
Oh, so much.
I'm the worst at texting back, so
am I. It's like, have you seen that meme where it's like, when you come back to your phone 9 months later and respond to a text, and you're like, as if you didn't even leave, you're like, that's me, sorry.
I'm like, and carry the conversation on.
If you need me that bad, please call.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so we are back with Maddie, you guys, and we are talking all about her beautiful family, and she has shared with us her beautiful message. And I just, as we're closing up this episode, what is one thing that you, like, if you could just scream it to the rooftops and tell everybody, what would it be?
Gotta think of this, because I got a lot of things I can scream from
She's like, I got a lot of things to scream.
I got a lot of things to scream. But I think that the most important thing I would scream is, like, for you moms out there, you're a great mom. And I think that we are really hard on ourselves, and we think that we aren't meeting what our kids need, and I just think that you need to know that you're enough and that you are exactly the mom that your children need. And we aren't perfect as moms, but I think it's important to not be perfect because our kids will see that, and they'll see that my parents aren't perfect, but they're trying, and that's what I want for my kids. I want them to know that they're not going to be perfect in all things, but as long as they're trying, that's all that matters. And I think that's the same for you. Just give yourself grace through motherhood, because it can be really hard, but you're doing a really good job, and just trust that, and trust in your ability as a parent, because there's no better parent than you for your kids. So
I love that. That was beautiful. See, she's amazing, everybody. She's incredible. Seriously, that was beautiful. Thank you guys. If you want to find Maddie, where can they find you?
We are on Instagram and all social media. We just love Instagram the most. But our handle is Living with a Little Extra. So
Living with a Little Extra.
With that.
Yes, and you will love following her. She's very inspiring, funny, talented, uplifting, all the things, and her family's beautiful. So
You're so nice.
no, it's true. I speak truth.
I love you. I know you speak true. You do.
I do.
I do.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching today. We love you, and we'll see you at the next show. Aloha means hello, goodbye, and we love you. Him, you, me, we got this.